The sheriff stepped out of his cruiser, looking more confused than a cat at a dog show. "So, let me get this straight," he said slowly, adjusting his hat. "She called 911 because you were moving fish." I nodded, still holding a bucket of rainbow trout that splashed occasionally, sending droplets onto my boots. The morning sun reflected off the water, creating little rainbows that danced across the gravel driveway. From her perfectly manicured porch across the street, Linda Hartwell shrieked like a banshee who just discovered her favorite reality show had been cancelled. "He's draining our lake. He's destroying the entire ecosystem. This is environmental terrorism." The sheriff peered at the legal document I handed him, his eyes scanning the official seals and signatures. A chuckle escaped his lips, then another, until he was shaking his head with genuine amusement. He turned to face her, his expression shifting from entertained to professional. "Ma'am," he said with the patience of someone who dealt with too many neighborhood disputes. "According to these papers, he owns the lake. My name is Cole Maddox, an aquaponics farmer who bought 15 acres including a spring-fed pond behind my home. It wasn't decorative, it was the heart of my sustainable fish operation. Enter Linda Hartwell, HOA president and self-proclaimed steward of Riverbend Estates, known for enforcing mulch depths and mailbox fonts. She decided I was draining their lake when I was simply moving fish. She fined me for unauthorized extraction of wildlife, accused me of trout laundering, and even created a Save Our Lake committee that glared at me over wine glasses. Despite my polite documentation proving my ownership and water rights, Linda escalated. When I drained part of the pond for maintenance, she called 911 claiming ecological terrorism. The sheriff arrived, and I presented all the legal papers, including a 1993 agreement revealing the HOA's irrigation system relied entirely on water from my pond. Their lawns, fountains, and sprinklers all depended on my private spring. "And you're the current property owner?"
"Yes, sir," I confirmed.
"I've been very generous about maintaining the existing agreement, even though the lease terms are laughably outdated." That is until now. Word spread through Riverbend Estates faster than gossip at a church potluck. Within hours, everyone knew that Linda Hartwell had declared war on the person who literally controlled their water supply. The irony was delicious. Like a perfectly aged cheese, she'd launched a full witch hunt against the very person who kept their Kentucky bluegrass green and their koi ponds full. That night, I called an emergency HOA meeting. I calmly presented the old contract and exercised the termination clause. With 48 hours' notice, I could shut off their water. Panic spread instantly. Linda tried to argue, but the board knew they were doomed without me. I offered new conditions, all fines dropped, a written public apology, and Linda's resignation from the presidency. Within minutes, the vote passed unanimously, minus one furious abstention from Linda. "You can't do this," she sputtered, standing up so fast her chair tipped over. "This is blackmail.
This is extortion."
"This is perfectly legal," I interrupted. "I've consulted with my attorney, and I'm well within my rights. In 48 hours, every lawn in Riverbend Estates will lose its water supply. Every fountain will run dry. Every sprinkler system will be as useful as a chocolate teapot." They agreed to all my terms, including my final demand, a permanent brass plaque beside the pond reading, "This water generously provided by Cole Maddox of Maddox Family Farm. Do not upset him." It became a local attraction overnight. Linda resigned the next morning under protest. She later tried to save face online with a passive-aggressive post titled "A Time for Reflection and Trout," which the neighborhood mocked mercilessly. The new board signed a fair lease paying market rates and covering pond maintenance. Linda turned to blogging about ethical hydration and documenting succulents on Instagram while avoiding eye contact whenever she passed my property. The best part came a month later when a local elementary school student won the science fair with a project titled "How One Man Owns All the Water, a Study in Resource Management." The kid interviewed me for the project and I gave him a tour of the aquaponics system. His conclusion was that Mr. Maddox is pretty cool and Mrs. Hartwell should have been nicer to the fish man. Within 6 months, 3 more HOA board members resigned, citing exhaustion from the previous administration's legacy issues. The new board is much more reasonable, mostly because they remember what happens when you anger the person who controls your irrigation. They approved my proposal for a small farm stand at the community entrance where I sell fresh produce and yes, fresh trout every Saturday morning. The HOA's lawyer sent Linda a bill for $8,400 in legal fees related to what they termed the water crisis she created. According to Gerald, who still waves at me apologetically, she turned 3 different shades of purple when she opened the envelope.